IC title. This is great. I think that what they're doing with Jason Jordan right now is good. They're touching base a little bit on the fact that, Jason Jordan is the legitimate son to Kurt Angle, and they're building up a character with Jason Jordan. And the thing that really seems to really make a lot of sense, have Jason Jordan focus more on his wrestling and less on his gimmick, less on his character. The reason why is because a lot of people are going to want to see how he does in the ring. Eventually, Jason Jordan will have to, start picking up some kind of a gimmick, or picking up some kind of deal where he starts, being either a funny guy, or he just starts being a serious competitor. I think that, putting him in a serious competitor with small funny moments would actually be really cool. But I think right now, just have him focus more on wrestling and have him find ways to get over more with the crowd. I think that's how you're going to make this guy a star. So, again, a great Miz TV segment. One of the best, I would say one of the best of this year. And especially just that moment where Miz just gets thrown into Axel and Dallas. That was just awesome. Alright, so we move on to Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. It is confirmed that it will be Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Bray Wyatt comes out basically saying, Finn Balor, he's your hero, man. How does it feel that I took him down? And he's just building himself up, and then Finn Balor comes out and beats down on Bray Wyatt. This is going to be a really good matchup between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Now, here's the thing about this. I am hoping that maybe they go down a same route with Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor like they did with Wyatt and Orton, to where maybe Finn Balor's not fully in touch with the demon deal, so Bray Wyatt helps, Finn Balor bring that true demon out and just being this, truly aggressive guy, and truly be this kind of, this really, what makes, the demon different from Finn Balor, which is what I think a lot of people are still having a hard time with, because they still have a hard time thinking, well, what's the difference between the two of them other than the full-on body paint? I'm hoping that they do something different, and I really think that it would be kind of cool to do that if they just had, Finn Balor, he can act casual for certain deals, and then big-time matches where he puts on the demon paint, he's a totally different person. He's more aggressive, he's more focused, he's more, must-win deals, Just have him do that. Am I saying, do like what basic heels would do? Oh, hell no. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying just have him be more of a, I don't even know if I want to say crazy. Just one of those guys who's really going to just do whatever it takes to win, like I said. So I'm looking forward to Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. We got a lot of vignettes for Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns, and it evolved into the triple threat match between Roman, Strowman, and Joe. This was a good matchup, and why this wasn't the main event, I will never know, because the main event matchup / segment, I'm not totally on board with, but we'll get into that in just a bit, because it's Big Show versus Big Cass as the main event. Why? I don't know. But this matchup between Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns was really good. This has been the contender for match of the week, next to the Nakamura-John Cena match on Smackdown, which I'll get into when I talk more about SmackDown Live. This match between Roman, Strowman, and Joe was very physical. It was very intense. It was everything that you would imagine it would be. It was a great way to show how the Fatal 4-Way matchup at SummerSlam is going to look like. It is going to be it's going to be really brutal. And some moments there where Braun Strowman, had the steel steps and Roman Reigns punches him in the face with the Superman punch, the diving Superman punch from the top of the steps to Samoa Joe. There were just a lot of great moments here. In the end, Roman Reigns picks up the victory by pinning Samoa Joe with the spear. So now Samoa Joe can't say that, hey, you never beaten me. because even though it was a triple threat, he still was a part of the pinfall decision. And I think it's better that they did that instead of having Roman pin Strowman, because I do think that they need to continue on that feud just a little bit longer. And whether Braun Strowman or Roman Reigns wins the Universal title, I see the two of them, battling out more if that were to happen post SummerSlam. Samoa Joe winning the winning the title would be kind of a redemption deal from when he lost at Great Balls of Fire. I am looking forward to seeing what they do with Samoa Joe, hopefully post SummerSlam. Maybe they'll have, Joe and Strowman battle each other. I don't know exactly. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens after all is said and done. Great triple threat match, like I said. So looking forward to seeing what they do in the continued build-up to SummerSlam featuring these four men. Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns. Looking forward to seeing how this goes down. Basic squash matchup. Elias Samson defeating Kalisto. They shortened his name just to Elias. Okay, so I understand that there's times where they do want to shorten down the names and they want them to be a little more catchy, a little more just, catches right off. Where just, it kind of, rolls off the tongue, or it just feels good to just say. This was an issue when they, cut the names of Antonio Cesaro to just Cesaro, and then they had Big E Langston just turn into Big E. I think if they would have done the Big E change around the time that he joined the New Day, that would have been understandable. If they did this pre New Day, I think it was just really pointless to do that. So the fact that they took the name of Elias Samson and they just changed it down to Elias, it sounds so lame. It's not one of those things where it's catchy. It doesn't work. I get, some people like to have like the one word name or something like that, or just like a short deal like John Cena or The Miz, just, 2 words that are just really short. Elias Samson would have been a really good name to continue to have. And, here's your winner and the new, IC champion, Elias Samson. Okay, that's kind of a little hard to believe, but you kind of get what I'm saying. With Elias Samson, the name actually worked out. I think that, having it as a full name was better than just shortening it down to just Elias. Because it just sounds really weird. I don't understand why they did it. If it was for a marketing value, this is not going to end very well. It just, well, I'm actually looking at, this is on CBSSports.com. Here's basically what the article says at the end. It says, we all know Vince McMahon prefers superstars with one name, which is why names like Big E Langston, they crossed out Langston, Adrian Neville, Alexander Rusev, and Antonio Cesaro are no longer used. Yeah, they even agree. This one feels particularly extra cheesy, robbing Elias a bit of what made him cool. I definitely do agree with that. It does sound cool. It just sounds really weird when you're just saying just Elias instead of Elias Samson. We go into this is a very interesting matchup, and there's actually a little bit to talk about when it comes down to this. Bayley took on Nia Jax in a one-on-one matchup, to which Bayley won via a countout. But also the other news that came out of this matchup was that Bayley seemed to suffer a severe shoulder injury. There's been no diagnostics as to what the extent of this injury is. Even now as I record, I have not heard anything about Bayley's condition. They're hoping to just have her ice the shoulder for the week, not have her do too much physical activity. And then by Monday, hopefully the swelling has gone down to the point where they could actually make a proper diagnostics on how bad the shoulder injury is and how severe, how long she may be out for. But I'm hoping that it's just one of those moments where, it was just like a deal where, maybe it's just like a bruising, maybe she hit it wrong, she landed wrong, Nia Jax may have done something wrong. it's just one of those things where we're not sure exactly what is going on with Bayley's shoulder. And right now they're still advertising Alexa Bliss versus Bayley at SummerSlam. If Bayley is out with injury and has to miss SummerSlam, this would be a perfect opportunity to slip in Sasha Banks into the picture. I don't understand why they had Bayley defeat Sasha Banks a couple weeks ago. It did not make any sense to me. It's just one of those things where we've seen this matchup with Alexa Bliss and Bayley. It made more sense to have Sasha go over and have her win, maybe win at SummerSlam either clean or they have like a clean finish. Because right now Sasha Banks still owns a count-out victory over Alexa Bliss. So are we just going to forget that, Sasha beat the women's champion and just not give her any kind of acknowledgement? I mean, I just do not understand the logic here. But then again, it's also Monday Night Raw, so I guess, their writers are still having holes that they refuse to fill. Great job. Okay. Big Cass versus Big Show. Nothing too special about this matchup. Enzo got involved and caused a disqualification on Big Show. Big Cass would beat down on Enzo, but then Big Show would get a nice, right hook to the face of Big Cass. So obviously this feud between Big Show and Big Cass is not over. More than likely it's going to get built up to SummerSlam. So I don't know how I really feel about this because Big Show can provide great matches. He really can. But I just think that maybe they were still a little bit premature breaking off Enzo and Cass just because they didn't have anything for them. They really could have had them win the tag team titles before they had the whole break-off deal. But business is business, and Vince McMahon loves, the big, strong, muscular guys, as well as he's very high on Big Cass. There's been a lot of rumors that have been stated that there's a lot of backstage heat on. There's been a lot of backstage heat on a lot of people actually this week, the last few weeks actually. Big Cass and Enzo had some heat. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins apparently have had some heat going for them. It's really kind of a weird feeling in the locker room right now. And I just don't understand what they're doing with Big Cass right now. Because he's still one of those guys who is a star. He definitely can create something great. The question is, how are you going to create something when you're just going to have him, take on big guys? Because, it's the marquee value. It's Big Show versus Big Cass. I don't understand. I would have much rather have seen Big Cass versus Enzo Amore at SummerSlam in a Brooklyn street fight. Why? Because it would make sense. It's a gimmicky deal. At the same time, these guys are just absolutely trying to, just destroy each other. So I say let them go crazy at SummerSlam. Maybe have Enzo, get a really good spot in the matchup. Have Big Cass get a really good spot in the matchup. Give them that street fight deal. And just have that kind of gimmick roll along for their futures. And by gimmick, I don't mean, they're going to grab, canes and chairs and just beat each other up. No, just have them have that mentality where they're just out there trying to beat people up. Just have them, being, for Enzo, make him just that guy who's just going to be a tough guy, who's going to be going out there and just giving it all that he has, and that he is not going to just, stay down. He's going to keep getting back up. He's going to keep getting back up for Big Cass. Show a little bit more of that powerhouse deal. It would just really be something different. It would be great to see. So I'm hoping that that's what we get to see in the near future, but only time will tell. So Monday Night Raw, in all honesty, was pretty good. I didn't have too many complaints about it, except for the main event not being the triple threat match. That should have been the main event, hands down. Build up to a lot of stuff at SummerSlam is really good for the Raw part of it. SmackDown side of it, we'll get into that in just a bit. Before we go into our first commercial break, which will be a song for about a minute and a half, the Superstar Shakeup was one of the more unexpected as well as interesting concepts that they decided to do. Usually they go into like a draft deal where they just swap people around. The Superstar Shakeup was just, random people just come on, no explanation really given, just bringing them in,